Testimonials are a common thing to have on a website that is public facing. It helps increase credibility and trust. Why testimonials? Because we know that people influence other people and how they act. We also know that credibility can really go high very quickly when others are talking about you positively. And lastly, we know that trust is essential for most organizations to really connect with their target audiences. And that is what you want to do. You want to build trust, and testimonials are a way to speed up that trust. In order to increase credibility and trust, testimonials should have a few characteristics if possible. We love to have a full name attached to a testimonial. That means it comes from a real person that people could look up to see who that really is. Also, including a title or an industry gives the context of who this person is, so nobody does have to go look up, who is Mary Jones? Well, you can give them more information. So they say, oh, that's somebody who I recognize, or somebody from an industry that I recognize, or who has a title similar to me. Showing a photo of the person giving a testimonial also really helps increase credibility. Now, sometimes you run into issues around anonymity or privacy that are more important than you getting a testimonial. And in those cases, sometimes you can use the quote, and you may not have a full name. Maybe you'll only have a first name or no name at all. At least it is something, and at least it will be told in words that are not yours and somebody else's words, which can feel more real, of course, to other people. But as much as possible, you want to really show that these are real testimonials from people similar to the people who are viewing your site. We know that recommendations on third-party sites are also really helpful. For organizations, things like GuideStar, Yelp, or Facebook are places where people may put recommendations for an organization. For e-commerce, it's a lot easier because there's things like Amazon, right, and eBay where people are, giving things stars and making recommendations. But just because you aren't necessarily selling a product doesn't mean you shouldn't look and see if you can have off-site recommendations as well. The biggest issue I see with testimonials is that they are often too long. Here's an example of a testimonial about an event, and it has lots of great things to say about the organization and the event and even the employees. But it's just like a wall of words. It's a lot of words here, and so it's more likely that somebody would just skip over it. Whereas if I just kind of picked the thing that I wanted to emphasize and used just that line from the testimonial, it might be way more powerful and it will be more likely to be seen. So in this case, let's say I wanted to take this line, which is really an impressive testimonial line, and I would just pull it out. And I would let there be white space around it so it really pops out on the page. That kind of white space or negative space around words makes them stand out and will draw the eye's attention there. So keep an eye out for testimonials on your website and see if you can make them shorter. If you aren't yet using testimonials, then think about how could you possibly start incorporating them in, sprinkling them throughout the site, not on a separate testimonials page, sprinkling them in to help increase your credibility and trust.